to a set of talks, but to accept the principle of talks and not to rule out talks with Putin as they have been doing till now. So I do expect that, or at any rate hope, that there will be a push towards a more diplomatic efforts on Ukraine, as opposed to an open-ended war.
Let me ask Stephen Golub, next week, Joe Biden is going to be at the G20 in Bali. There's supposed to be a meeting between him and Xi Jinping. It was all sort of factored in that it's going to be a weakened Biden. The Republicans are going to win the House and the Senate, but that has not come to pass. The Republican majority in the House is not as big as they expected. The Senate will most likely stay in Democratic control. It's not as weakened a Biden as was expected a week or 10 days ago. How may that change his own interactions there at the G20 vis-a-vis Xi Jinping? People are still talking about a potential meeting between him and Putin. We don't even know if Putin's going to go to the G20. But how may that change the way the rest of the world's leaders approach him and the way he approaches them?
Well, that's a good question. I think the answer is almost found within your question, that he comes away from this election stronger than anticipated, and that may affect how other world leaders see him. They won't see him as necessarily a lame duck or presiding over a big electoral loss. And that can have ripple effects, positive ripple effects for Biden and the U.S. in terms of foreign policy. Now, having said that, there are a couple of things I want to comment on from the previous speaker, the fellow who'd spoken previously. Well, one thing just to start with is it's not clear, I believe, that the Republicans will necessarily take back the House. It's likely, but it's not absolutely clear yet. A lot of mail-in and other votes still have to be counted in some key districts. Mm-hmm. One matter that was highlighted by that previous guest is an optimism that leaders will now push back against Donald Trump, against election denialism. We've heard that before, including when Trump seemed to be weakened after the horrible insurrection, the seizure of the Capitol, where the House and Senate meet, by a mob that he inspired. It looked like the Republicans were going to push back very strongly against him. There were rumbles along those lines, including by the House minority leader, perhaps Speaker to be Kevin McCarthy. That didn't happen. Now, just to get back briefly to the matter of where Biden stands in foreign policy at this next big meeting and afterwards, if in fact the Republicans take control of the House, they will hamper him at every turn for political reasons, and that could undercut elements of his foreign policy, not least in Ukraine.
Okay, let me ask Meera Shankar. Of course, as far as the US-India relationship is concerned, there has been a bipartisan nature to it for the last 30 years or so. But having said that, with the Biden administration, even though India has become a major defense partner and there are regular visits and so on and so forth, the fact that even an ambassador has not come here and taken charge yet, is that a bit of a niggle? And of course, American concerns about India continuing to buy Russian oil. It used to be less than 1% when this war began. It's now upwards of 20%. Of course, India has its own justification for it. Are these niggles, or is this something that is sort of fundamentally denting the relationship?
I don't think it's fundamentally denting the relations. I think the US would have been happier if our policy on Ukraine and Russia had been more closely aligned with theirs, but they have accepted the fact that India's geopolitical situation is such that it cannot sever ties with Russia, given that 60% of its defense equipment is of Russian origin, and our troops are currently deployed in a live manner on the border with China. Yeah. So we are just not in a position to, align our policy with the US on Ukraine. And as I said, there is an acceptance of this, as also an acceptance of the fact that both countries do have a close convergence with regard to the Indo-Pacific, and both are committed to take those cooperative arrangements forward fairly robustly, and have been doing so.
Okay, let me give Stephen Golub the final word. Just in terms of the other big consequential relationship bilaterally is US-China. And we haven't had a state visit either by Biden to China or by Xi Jinping to the United States. They could likely meet in Bali next week. A not-so-weakened Biden, would that give him more elbow room to try and cut a deal with Xi Jinping? Or, again, is there a bipartisan nature to the relationship between Beijing and Washington now? What Trump started, Biden's pretty much continuing in that same vein.
Yes. Oh, I think, well, that's another good question. I believe that the U.S.-China relationship is so complex right now that we're not going to see any big master deal cut in any way between between Biden and Xi. And in some ways, China is being very expansionist and aggressive in both its economic and military policies, which exacerbates matters. As far as India is concerned, if I may add, you know, I understand the India-Russia relationship for all the very good reasons that your other guests just stated, but it's very important also to keep in mind that in terms of China, Russia is now the little brother in that relationship, Russia-China. Yep. China is the more powerful party in most respects and and certainly is economically much more powerful. So when India calculates and calibrates where it's going to come out regarding Ukraine and other matters regarding Russia, you can't count on Russia, because if India and China are bumping heads, hopefully not militarily, but certainly in terms of foreign policy, Russia is inevitably going to be siding with China. It's not a reliable partner for India at all in any way. China can really veto lots of things that India might want Russia to do. That's a very important factor. I got to wrap up.
Thank you very much, Stephen Golub and Meera Shankar, for joining us. Yes, midterm elections usually have far greater domestic ramifications than foreign policy ones. But because it's the United States and because so much is at stake, this has been an interesting election. Thanks very much for tuning in. In a moment, Maria Shakil joining you with News Epicenter.
You're watching News Epicenter with me, Maria Shakil. A political war has erupted over the G20 logo unveiled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday as India takes over the presidency of the multilateral forum. The point of contention is that the logo boasts the lotus symbol. Now, beyond being the emblem of the BJP, the lotus is central to multiple South Asian cultures and a significant part of India's ancient heritage. But the Congress has called it a brazen attempt to glorify the BJP. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh led the party's charge against the saffron BJP, accusing it of shamelessly promoting itself on the global stage. Jairam Ramesh further said that 70 years ago, Nehru rejected the proposal to make the Congress flag the symbol of independent India, but now the BJP symbol has become the official G20 logo. The BJP hit back at the Congress, accusing it of insulting the national flower, adding that it was Nehru who gave it that stature. The BJP has also accused the Congress of insulting Indian culture once again. This is a trivial political war as India takes an important global step, flexing its diplomatic muscle to tackle challenges in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine. So is the Congress then guilty of tarnishing India's image, or is the BJP guilty of self-promotion?
मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से विनती करूंगा कि वो बटन दबाकर भारत के G20 logo.
Prime Minister Modi unveiling the logo of India's G20 presidency. India, home to 1.3 billion people, is a confluence of religions, traditions and customs.
The logo includes a lotus, which Prime Minister Modi says is a symbol of hope in trying times.
And seeing the world as one family.
The world is going through the after effects of disruptive, once-in-a-century pandemic, conflicts and lot of economic uncertainty. The symbol of the lotus in the G20 logo is a representation of hope in these times. No matter how adverse the circumstances, the lotus still blooms.
But for the opposition, the lotus symbol has a political link.
एक्चुअली भाजपा वाले हमेशा इलेक्शन मोड पे रहते हैं और हमेशा उनको लगता है कि हमें वोट का लाभ मिल जाए.
G20 symbol contains lotus, which is sought to be capitalized by BJP. Well, I think this is certainly objectionable.
Why the lotus was not used earlier by BJP, the ruling party, as a national flower, but no, for G20 they are going to use it now. That shows every issue they politicize.
BJP countered these allegations and said the lotus symbolizes India's ancient heritage.
कमल आज से हजारों वर्षों से भारत और भारतीय संस्कृति में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है. राष्ट्र और राष्ट्रवाद के किसी भी तत्व के प्रति आपके मन में कितनी अवमानना है और उसको लेट डाउन करने के लिए आप किसी भी सीमा तक जाने को तैयार हैं.
India takes over the presidency of the G20 from the 1st of December and will have an opportunity to consolidate its growing foreign policy footprint. So at such a crucial moment, why politicize India's global show of strength?
One earth, one family, one future.
RP Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP, is joining me live. Ashpreet Singh Kardial is the spokesperson of the Congress. We also have Ruminder Nath Sajdev. He is international affairs expert. Mr. Sajdev, I'm going to begin with you before I move on to the politicians. India will assume the presidency of the powerful G20 grouping on December 1st. And that certainly is going to be an epoch moment for Indians diplomatically as well. Would you say that this entire controversy over logo is meaningless? You have to unmute yourself. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was muting. Yeah, I would say it's petty, and there are two things, as I was looking. Definitely, yes, BJP is taking some advantage of its election symbol, but that aside, lotus is our national flower. So that's logical. It can be used to represent some, international platform that we are kind of going to head now. And secondly, I don't want to get into politics, but Jairam Rameshji's statement, I found it pretty interesting and funny in some ways. He said that Congress had the opportunity that the Congress flag would have been the national flag and Nehruji turned it down. Fair enough. My thought would be, if the Congress flag became the national flag, then the Congress party would have to go hunting and design a new flag. Right. Okay, it may have become the nation's flag, but the Congress would have had to design a new flag. So anyway, that aside, this controversy, I think, is a little, it's petty. It is petty, but yes, the Congress can take pot shots. But on the other hand, the BJP is being smart. And sure, if you're in power, you can be smart as long as you have the right logic.
You have not answered my question. My question is specific, that this is a diplomatic moment for India. And I'm going to bring Ashpreet Singh now. Lotus is a national flower. It symbolizes heritage, faith, peace. And it's an important, crucial moment for India and Indians, as I just said. It is also showcasing how India is diplomatically very critical for several economies of the world. Then why do domestic politics and why is the Congress party seeing red in lotus?
Number one, it is no coincidence that the symbol at the G20 is the same as the Bharatiya Janata Party's symbol. See, it is in plain words an attempt by the Bharatiya Janata Party to do marketing, to do branding and subtle messaging. Now, there are 2-3 things that the Bharatiya Janata Party really needs to understand. First, they are going there to represent the nation, the country, not themselves, not their party. And number 2, they should understand that there are times, when they have to see things for they are. That they are going to be representing the nation at an international level, and India is way bigger than Bharatiya Janata Party is or can ever be. They have to understand this.
No, but
so
why is Lotus being associated with the Bharatiya Janata Party? Yes, it may be the election symbol of the BJP, but how do you forget that that is also a national flower?
See, one thing that we have to understand is that the Bharatiya Janata Party isn't going to be staying at the center throughout and forever. There will be other parties also. Tomorrow when other parties come, should they also do this? Would you also be in favor of that? We have to understand one thing, that there are limitations to branding, marketing and advertising also.
Okay,
however,
I
just have to say one thing. I just have to say one last thing. That, self-promotion, this is self-promotion at another level. If there was a record in the Guinness Book to do marketing and do abuse of power,
okay. RP Singh, respond.
The Bharatiya Janata Party would have gotten number 1 rank in it.
Thank you. I'll appreciate. I won't be interrupted. I didn't interpret other one panelist. Lotus is not merely BJP's symbol, party symbol. It represents our civilization. It represents our culture. It represents a lot of religion in country. Buddhism, Hinduism. It represents some part of reflection of Sikhism also. So it represents a lot of religion. It represents culture. It represents our nation, and that's how Nehruji picked it up as a national flower. It was not that he picked it up, he could have picked up rose because he used to wear a rose, so he could have picked up a rose as a national flower, but he picked up lotus as a symbol, lotus as a national flower, because he knew and he could understand, this is the symbol of our culture. One. Secondly, let's understand what is branding and why do we have a lotus behind it. It is that one earth, one family, one future. And it's an issue of hope in that, and lotus blooms in the muddiest of the muddiest water. So it is the hope which is representing. And again, it is not BJP symbol. BJP symbol have 5 petals. This has 7 petals. So they can keep saying what they have to say. But now I'm happy that they are not talking about the angry lion. Earlier it was angry lion. They can pick up all sort of petty issues every now and then with something or other. I mean, they have to actually, they can't bear this that Prime Minister or the country is representing or is going to spearhead. Can I say another second? Spearheading.
Can it be more of a substantive criticism? How is this even linked to whatever is being said in the context of the symbol? How is this politics so relevant at this time? I mean, do we really understand the significance of this moment to raise it the manner in which it is being done?
See, this is as clear as a glass of moonshine for everybody to see that the Bharatiya Janata Party has clearly undermined rules, conventions, the limitations that a certain government has, and has clearly forgotten that they are going there to represent India, not themselves, not their party. Number 2, it's not really the fault of the Bharatiya Janata Party, because they're only good at one thing. There is only one expertise that the Bharatiya Janata Party has, and that is at advertising and marketing, not welfare, not development, not work. So that is what they keep on doing. So congratulations and kudos to Mr. Modi. There's not a single day that goes by when Mr. Modi does not campaign, does not, 24/7 is not on a campaign trail. That is what he does. That is what the Bharatiya Janata Party is all about. So that's why they are doing this. The problem that we have with this is that India is bigger than Bharatiya Janata Party is. India is bigger than any party there is ever going to be or there ever has been. The Bharatiya Janata Party is clearly failed to understand that. And number 3, the Bharatiya Janata Party is not doing this for the first time. There's a pattern of the Bharatiya Janata Party with regards to abuse of power, with regards to undermining rules, conventions, and distorting history, distorting patterns. They have distorted the history back in the day. They have changed names of places. And this is another
national flower. Lotus was in fact declared as the national flower in 1950. And by then, the Congress government and Mr. Ramesh was born in 1954. That is what Hardeep Puri has said. My question then is this even about self-promotion. It's about a flower which is the national flower of India, which happens to be also the political symbol of the BJP. Then in that context, I'm not supposed to talk about my palm because this is the symbol of the Congress party. We will be, making an argument which is completely flawed then. How is this really developing into an argument at a time when India is, trying to showcase its presence by taking over this presidency?
Exactly. This is what...
Mr. Sachdev.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Another thought, from a pure communication point of view, if you see, the logo is composed of several components out there, right? The lotus part, and it's absolutely valid, it's our national flower. And when you create a logo, you want to infuse meaning and symbolism into it. Okay, so lotus, the 7 petals are there. The G20 thing is there. The Vasudev Kutumbakam is written there. So the logo is not only the lotus. Okay, maybe some criticism would have been more valid, perhaps if the logo was entirely only the lotus flower, right? But the logo here is a composite of several components. So therefore, honestly, I think this is nitpicking by the Congress. I don't want to get into politics.
Okay, I have just enough time for RP Singh. RP Singh, respond. From an angry lion,
very small thing,
to now this logo, it seems that this is about, every image that is associated with your political party, the Congress has a problem with it. And, you may say an argument that this is about, opposition for opposition's sake.
Self-promotion.
Well, we have to wait for yet another day when they will find out fault with something else and nitpick with something else. But as the other panel was saying, it is not just the not just the lotus. There are many other components in that. And if we go by what Congress is saying, that probably we are pitching for another 20 countries to contest election. This is so trivial. How can they even be so petty on such subjects? They should be proud that yes, India is achieving what it's achieving at the international forum, and then they should support the country in that. But what heck of opposing Prime Minister Modi or opposing the NDA government, they keep doing this. At times the angry lion and now the 7-petal lotus. But again, on national flag, I have been hearing a lot on the national flag. That is also deceptible. The national flag and the Congress flag, the Congress can't run that if someone goes for a case in the court saying that it's deceptible. And then it's almost the same, except the chakra and the hand symbol. So there's another issue in that. But we don't want to get into that, since they adopted that as a flag, they have, and country has its own flag. But they should rise above this and then think for the betterment of the country. And for my friend here, I'll just tell you one thing. 10 crore people in country get Ayushman Bharat. No one could have never imagined this in this country.
All right.
Every medical health scheme is there for 5 lakh rupees for more than 10 crore families in the country.
All right. Ashpreet Singh Kardial, RP Singh and Rubindra Nath Sachdeva, thank you so much for joining us. We're shifting focus to what is now a raging conflict which is happening between governors and governments in 3 opposition ruled states. Flying in the states of Kerala, Telangana and Tamil Nadu. The DMK has submitted a memorandum to the President of India seeking the removal of Governor R.N. Ravi, accusing him of obstructing the government. Things are not great in Kerala too, where the cabinet has decided to bring in an ordinance to take away the post of Chancellor from the governor's office. This comes amidst the ongoing legal battle between state Vice Chancellors and Arif Mohammed Khan, who is the governor of Kerala. The LDF government has accused him of working as an agent of the Sangh Parivar. Meanwhile, in poll-bound Telangana, the governor, Tamilisai Soundarajan, has been accused by the TRS of delaying legislative work. The charge comes days after she raised questions on the process of selection when it comes to the Common Recruitment Board for state universities. These face-offs are not new in Indian politics and are a regular feature in the fights between central governments and opposition-ruled states. But are the offices of governors subject to constant politicization, or do they serve as a much-needed constitutional check?
Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. 3 states, one big fight. It's governors versus state governments. After repeated spats between the Kerala government and governor, the Pinarayi Vijayan cabinet decided to bring in an ordinance to take away the role of the Chancellor of Universities from the governor. But Arif Mohammed Khan remained defiant.
Let that stage come, and I had said, whatever crisis comes, I will not sign on the address if you will try to control Raj Bhavan.
It's a similar story in Tamil Nadu. Calling Governor R.N. Ravi a threat to peace, the DMK has submitted a memorandum to the president seeking his removal from office. The memorandum listed 20 bills passed by the assembly that are awaiting the governor's assent. These include one to take away the governor's powers to appoint vice chancellors and give them to the state government instead. In Telangana too, the ruling TRS has accused Governor Tamilisai Soundarajan of sitting on some bills forwarded by the government for her assent. Refuting the allegation, the governor claimed that her phones might be tapped.
I can take my own time to assess the bills. It was wrongly projected that I am sitting on the bills. I doubt my phone is taped. My privacy is interfered.
While the governor is an apolitical head who acts on the advice of the Council of Ministers, there are no guidelines in the Constitution for the exercise of the governor's powers. So who exactly is crossing the line here?
So let's decode the face-offs in the 3 states. In Kerala, there is an ordinance to oust the governor as chancellor. In Tamil Nadu, the DMK government has said that the governor has been accused of sitting on 20 bills. In Telangana, the TRS government says that the governor has been sitting on 8 bills. Shifting focus now, back on in Kerala, the governor has show-caused 11 vice-chancellors of state universities, claiming their appointment was illegal as per the Supreme Court. In Tamil Nadu, the DMK has written to the president to sack the governor. While in Telangana, the education minister was summoned over university vacancies and concerns of transparency over the recruitment process. Going back to Kerala again, the state government has accused the governor of exceeding his brief. He is being seen as someone who has the brief, or perhaps is taking brief of the Sangh Parivar. That's what the LDF government is saying. In Tamil Nadu, the DMK government has accused the governor of delaying its legislative agenda, while in Telangana, the state government has been accused by the governor of not following protocol. Now, one of the most vocal governors in this fight has been the governor of Kerala, Arif Mohammed Khan. This is what he told me in an exclusive chat. Listen in. Your office had sent notices to 9 vice chancellors on Sunday, and they have got temporary relief from the Kerala High Court. The LDF government, sir, is saying that you are doing all this with a larger design. There is a purpose behind it.
They have every right to say whatever they like, but what I am doing, I have made it clear that Honorable Supreme Court in its judgment has clearly laid down the law. If the selection committee does not meet the requirements of the UGC regulation and an appointment is made based on their recommendation, the words which Honorable Supreme Court has used are, it will be considered void ab initio. right from day one. They are illegal occupant of the office. The second ground which they have given is that UGC regulation requirement is to make a panel of 3 to 5 names. If single name has been forwarded to the Chancellor and appointment is made of that person, that will also be considered as void ab initio. So the only thing that I am doing is to uphold, apply the law as laid down by Honorable Supreme Court in the case of the Technical University to all the universities. Similar, as Chancellor of the University, I am under obligation to take this step. But if any citizen of India goes to the court asking that this should be applied, then they would have been removed by the, after Supreme Court judgment, there is no escape route. So they are free to say whatever they feel like, because they have been using the universities for a long time for their own political ends. I had tried to give them I had suggested an honorable exit. And therefore, I had requested them to submit their resignations by 11:30 in the morning on Sunday. Since they did not, they were directed, news has appeared. It is not the government which is directing them. It is the LDF, the political outfit. Every paper has carried this news, that LDF has directed the vice chancellors not to heed to my letter.
Arif Saab, the LDF government is saying that all your actions are part of Sangh Parivar's agenda. How will you respond to that?
What they say, I need not comment on that. They are saying this since, I think they are saying it since November 2019. I had joined the office in September. So they have been continuously, they have been saying this, because they found very early that they can't use me as a rubber stamp to regularize all the illegalities which they are committing. They are very upset with me because I stayed the appointment of the partner of the political secretary of the chief minister. So they are very upset with me. Let them take out their frustration. Why I should comment on it?
So where is this entire battle between the state governments and the governors heading to? Let me bring in my guests and go straight to Suneet Chopra. Suneet Chopra, you would have heard what Arif Mohammed Khan said, that this all began since November 2019, and the state government has been looking at the Raj Bhavan ever since with a lot of hostility, and that if anything, he is ensuring that the constitution is followed, that he is the conscience keeper and the upholder of the constitutional rights.
This is quite untrue, because if you know, the issue of education is on the concurrent list, and the concurrent list means that both the center and the state must agree on a matter before they take action like this. He is in fact hiding the fact that the Indian Constitution, which is a secular constitution, is one that the RSS never believed in, and they never used even to put up the tricolor flag. Now he is representing a government that in a sense has always been under the thumb of the RSS, and he is simply doing his duty.
But Mr. Chopra, Suneet Chopra,
is doing his
here
duty
is Arif Mohammed Khan saying that he understands law, and he is following the book. If the appointments are illegal, then he has to overturn those appointments, that he cannot be the rubber stamp of the state government.
He does not have to overturn anything, because he is only a nominee of the center. He has to convince the other part of the this duty. It's a concurrent list thing. He has to convince them. And if he can't convince them, he can resign. After all, people have been saying that the office of governor is a useless office and it should be removed anyway.
Yes, so there is a larger question now, or it can be a long debate. It's been happening since times immemorial and will continue for longer time as well, that what is the really the need of these Raj Bhavan. But I want to bring in the BJP spokesperson before I bring in the Tamil Nadu angle to this. The constitutional position is that if a bill is sent by the state cabinet for approval, the governor can send it back only once. And if the cabinet resends the bill to the governor, they cannot send it back. That is what the constitution says. Then why is the governor in multiple states being at loggerheads with the state government? In Tamil Nadu, in the state of Telangana, also in the state of Kerala. SG Surya.
Since you have asked, I'll talk about Kerala. Yeah, see, I'll talk about Kerala first. See, the problem with the other communist spokesperson is they never went into the merits of any of the disputes that is happening in Kerala, but as usual they went to RSS and BJP, which I strongly object. And I also say that RSS has never refused to own the Indian flag. It is a false propaganda that they are propagating for long. Now I'll come to the merits. Today you have dispute between the Honorable Governor of Kerala and the Chief Minister. I will tell you two instances where they are at loggerheads. One is the Lokayukta bill, that Lokayukta Act that the Kerala is having. You know why Lokayukta is there? It is to find out the corrupt people in the government positions and punish them. The recent amendment that is sent to the governor says, even if somebody is getting an adverse order from the Lokayukta, they will not be forced to demit the public office. Can we discuss the merits of this? Is it advisable or is it fine to, dilute the provisions of the Lokayukta? The governor is opposing to this. Why are they not talking about the merits of this particular act? And second bill which is in contention is the removing the powers of the governor in appointing the search committee to appoint the vice chancellor. Okay. This is the procedure that has been followed for the last 7 decades.
If the governor is following, if the governor is following the process, if the governor is following the law, then why is the state government objecting to it?
He is not following the law. If he was following the law, he would realize that without the agreement of the state government, he cannot take action. Because this is on the concurrent list. He is in fact violating the Indian constitution. And it's shameful that a government like the BJP, which has so much strength, so much money, so much corruption on its hands, is in fact trying to inject that into Kerala as well with its governor.
Okay, let me bring in the DMK representative now. Why is the DMK saying that Governor R.N. Ravi is not fit for the office?
The governor is making overtly communal statements. He is sitting on the bills which he is supposed to pass. He is getting paid by the taxpayers of the state of Tamil Nadu. He has taken an oath that he will act for the well-being of the state of Tamil Nadu, but he is not doing any of that. He is getting diktats from the RSS cabal and trying to scuttle the smooth and excellent and efficient administration of the Tamil Nadu government. Now, when we are talking about why we have gone to this level, there are 20 bills pending with the governor. The question that is asked is, what else is the job of the governor? To go and make speeches on the pulpit, stating that, speaking against the ethos of our constitution. He says, all over the world it is ruled by one religion. India is also a country which is ruled by one religion. This is what he is going and saying, forgetting that he has taken an oath, he is holding a constitutional office. India is ruled by the constitution of our country, not by any one particular religion. And he goes on to speak about Sanatana Dharma and all of the things which is relevant to one particular religion, forgetting the fact that he is a secular figurehead. The governor is a rubber stamp. He is a rubber stamp. Let us not forget that in the constitutional scheme of things, he has no other role to play.
Yes, while I understand that there are as many as 20 bills pending the governor's approval in Tamil Nadu, there have been multiple protests that have happened against R.N. Ravi for not sending the NEET exemption bill to the president after being passed twice in the state assembly. So all this is happening. I understand it fully. But can there be another argument before I bring in the BJP representative that these are the governors who are trying to redefine the office of the governor? That for the longest time what was seen as rubber stamp, they are thinking individuals who are saying that they want to ensure that the constitutional position of the governor is redefined.
You can redefine it when you make amendments to the constitution, not with the existing constitution. Then they'll have to resign their post, join the BJP as a spokesperson, or get any other post that is offered to them.
Okay, SG Surya, then make constitutional amendments about what the governor can do or cannot do. If the position as per the constitution is clear that if the state cabinet returns the bill after it has been said no by the governor, then he has to sign it. In this particular case, in case of Tamil Nadu, if the state assembly has filed, passed it twice, then why the governor is sitting over these bills?
Yes, Maria, please give me 3-4 uninterrupted minutes. First, when you say, when the DMK spokesperson claims the position of governor is a rubber stamp, I wonder why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar wanted that very provision in the constitution, nor why he didn't define the governor as a rubber stamp who should just sit as a rubber stamp. If he had thought it was a rubber stamp, I don't think he would have included this provision and created such an office throughout the country. He wanted some check to the state governments, and that is why the position of governor was enacted into the constitution. Secondly, see, you are telling 20 bills are pending. How many of them are amendment bills? How many of them are original bills? Out of the 20 bills, there are 4 bills that is particularly to remove the powers of the governor in certain things. And there are 16 amendment bills and 4 original bills. We all know amendment bills are not original bills. You just change one clause or one provision in the entire act. It is purely administrative in nature. You cannot paint political colors to the bills that are pending, which are purely administrative in nature. It is the due process of law. The governor himself has explained so many times that he is following the due process of law, and in due time it will be passed. It is not that not even one bill is passed by the governor. There are many bills that were passed by the governor. There are bills that are pending. There are bills like the NEET, which is obviously was built on fake submissions by the state government. That's why he has gone to.
But Mr. Surya, isn't it also a fact? Isn't it also a fact that in all these 3 states that you have, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and in Kerala, the opposition that is coming from the governors is also political in nature? How do you discount that? The fact that, Tamil side Soundarajan is all, taking on the sitting government is also something that's playing out. And that's a state where the BJP is trying to expand its footprints. You have similar case in Kerala where the governor is being seen as someone who is taking the center's line.
See, I'm telling you again, we are not spokespersons for the governors. I'm telling you, bring me case-by-case arguments in each state. In Kerala, you spoke to me. I told you about the Lokoyukta and the reducing the powers of the governor. In Tamil Nadu, again, every bill
no, but tell me, are the governors working within the legal parameters? Are they working within the legal parameters? Are they working as per the constitution in repeatedly sending back those bills, not signing those bills, sitting over these bills which have been passed by the state cabinet, passed by the assembly?
No.
Can I come in?
No, absolutely not. I will never agree that
they are bills passed by those elected by the people.
Too many bills that were
the governors
back.
are those who are sent there by the center.
It is purely administrative nature that you are trying to politicize because you do not have any other issues in hand. You want some issues to politicize because you do not have any other serious issues or legitimate issues to attack the government.
Okay.
That's why you go to the daily operation of the governor and find silly faults in every single
the governor
action.
is the no, one moment.
Can I come in here?
Okay,
Okay,
Mr. Saravanan, go ahead.
Yeah. See, the governor is again, I'm telling you, reiterating that he is a rubber stamp in the constitutional scheme of things. He does not know the meaning of the word as soon as possible. The Supreme Court has condemned the Tamil Nadu governor that he has sat too long on the resolution of the Tamil Nadu government, cabinet resolution. Is this not enough for the governor to act? So why is the governor sitting on 20 bills. Important bills are one about online gambling, prevention of hookah bars, construction of establishment of a new Siddha University. Is this not for the welfare of the people of Tamil Nadu? What excuse can he have for sitting on this? Can he say that I have not understood or I am doing something else? I am going and attending functions, cutting ribbons. I have time for all that, but I don't have time for signing this bill. Why the governor is not signing any of the bills? This is the only reason is they are extremely jealous. The BJP RSS cabal is extremely jealous of our leader Mr. M.K. Stalin, the Dravidian model, which is pitted against the Gujarat model. The Gujarat model, we are seeing how the bridges are collapsing like 9 pins and how the ticket collectors are arrested.
Exactly.
And BJP has the temerity to speak about corruption.
Okay. SG Surya, your government has been talking about cooperative federalism. If you believe in cooperative federalism, then you have to also ensure that the governor who serves the office of the governor on the will of the it's essentially the governor is appointed and removed by the president. That office also follows cooperative federalism. If the governor is constantly at loggerheads with the state government, then how will the state government function?
See, I am telling you again, we should see into the merits of the case. When you talk about loggerheads, you want everything to be agreed. Saravanan talks about Siddha University. There you are flaunting the norm that we have been following for the 7 decades. You are removing the concept of chancellor and governor. You want the state government to directly take control of it. There is a legal route for it. You are flaunting it and trying to create a dispute. That is a problem. Secondly, every time you talk about Gujarat model, Tamil Nadu model, etc., that is a different debate. Today we are talking about the acts of the governor. The governor has gone to blame that the state government
hide behind a different debate
handing over the
when your government
to the
is actually
of 4 days delay.
a different
He is
constitution.
pinpointing your mistakes. That's why you are bothered. You want a rubber stamp. That is not happening. You want a rubber stamp. You are happy with the governor when he is not to all of your things. That's all.
Why create constitutional crisis in the state?
There is absolutely no constitutional crisis. Where is the crisis? Where is the
They
crisis?
are creating
Show me
a
one bill
constitutional
without
crisis
the governor's
because they
passing.
don't
There is a
believe in the
constitutional crisis.
constitution.
There is a law and order issue. There is absolutely nothing. Maria, you tell me one bill that is pending with the governor that is creating a constitutional crisis or that is creating a law and order problem or anything. There is absolutely nothing.
What is this? Prevention of hookah bars, online gambling? Is this not for the welfare of the people? Which world are you coming from? Which welfare are you talking
are
about?
shameless, Mr. Saravanan. How long you took to bring this bill? We have been demanding this from day one of this government. You have taken away the bill that was passed by the previous government. You have been waiting on this for so long. You pass it so late and immediately you want the governor to pass. I wonder if you are an advocate. Is it only concerning Tamil Nadu? It is the larger interest that the governor has to follow.
I will ask them to teach the constitution, Indian constitution, for all these RSS pracharaks.
All right, thank you so much for joining me. SG Surya, A. Saravanan and Sunit Chopra. We are slipping to a short break. After that, we decode the pulse of the Aam Aadmi in battleground Himachal Pradesh with a focus on the crucial tourism sector. That special report when I return. Stay with us.
We have some races that are hot and heavy, and we're all watching them here. And some of you like the music so much that you'd rather hear the music, and I understand that very well. So we're doing combinations of both. I'd like to welcome the fake news media, which is back there. There's a lot of people back there. That's incredible. That's a big group. They must be expecting something big tonight. Actually, they were hoping for big losses, but that's not happening. So the numbers have been amazing so far. Now, this is just up until this point. But as of this moment on endorsements, with the nominations, we had a total of 330 endorsements on nominations. This is only on nominations. This isn't for tonight. And of the 330, we won 200. We won 324. So if you think 224, and some of those were long shots, in all fairness. They were down in 5th place. We had a lot of people in 5th place that went to first, but it was 224 out of 330, and that's a pretty good number. And then tonight, because they kept saying, well, he's good on nominations, but is he good on the general election? So as of this moment, and we have some out there, we are 80 wins and 3 losses. Is that good? Wouldn't that be funny if we were better on the general election than the nominations themselves? So that's great. Now in North Carolina, just out, Ted Budd is now leading, doing great. He's leading 51-47. In Missouri, very good guy, Eric Schmidt is now up 55-43, and he's against a Bush, but a different Bush. It's called an Anheuser-Busch. That's a different Bush. You tell me which is the real Bush. In Ohio, J.D. Vance is now leading, 52-47. And we had an incredible rally last night in Ohio. And you saw that in Florida, Marco Rubio, we had an unbelievable rally for Marco the night before with the heaviest rain I've ever been involved with. I was up there. It was beautiful, everything. This is the tropics, right, Florida? It was so beautiful. It was the most beautiful night, and all of a sudden it turned deadly dark, and it was like you had massive pails of water that just fell on top of me. We went through the worst storm, but we gutted it out. I had no teleprompters. We had 45,000 people out there. We had no teleprompter. And I said, I wonder what Biden would do right now. But we gutted it out, and it was amazing. But Marco had a fantastic evening at 58-41. That's really tremendous. That's as of this moment. Katie Britt, I want to congratulate Katie Britt. We endorsed Katie, and she did fantastically. 68-30. That means she has a future, young, and just a fantastic woman with a husband who's great. He's maybe the largest human being I've ever seen. He was a offensive lineman in the NFL for a long time and a great football player, actually. Played for Alabama. But Katie, congratulations to you. And we have a lot of other good ones going out there. Herschel's leading right now. So we have a lot of big races going on right now. So enjoy that, enjoy the food, and enjoy everything. And really, in all fairness, it is a great honor to have the media with us. And we hope you enjoy yourself and this wonderful group of people. These are the people that you read about. They are not the nicest people in the world, but they are brilliant financially. We're not going to see any great football stars in here, but we do see brilliant people. But but they're great people and very, very successful.
It's just another day for 48-year-old Rajendra Mehta and 34-year-old Satish Madhania on Shimla's iconic Mall Road. Both guides by profession have differing viewpoints on the tourism industry and its future in the state.
अभी इलेक्शंस आ रहा है, क्या कंसर्न्स है सबसे ज़्यादा?
मैम अभी इलेक्शंस के ऊपर तो देखिए टूरिज़्म के ऊपर जितना भी हमारा गवर्नमेंट ने काम किया है वैसे बहुत अच्छी तरह से बोलना चाहेंगे तो अच्छा हमारे जो टूरिज़्म सेक्टर हिमाचल स्टेट में हमारा शिमला जो है मनाली जो टूरिस्टिक यहाँ पे जगहें हैं यहाँ पे मतलब इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वगैरह को लेके बहुत एक अच्छा इनिशिएटिव लिया गया है जो वर्तमान में अभी सरकार थी हमारी बीजेपी की अच्छे रोड्स के लिए उन्होंने कोशिश की है अच्छे हाईवेज़ बनने वाले हैं।
इस बार सरकार तो मतलब बदलेगी और सरकार रिपीट नहीं होगी सरकार।
ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं आप?
मतलब अब पूरे हिंदुस्तान में
अपनी इंडस्ट्री के बेसिस
मैं अपने इंडस्ट्रीज के बारे में बेसिकली हिमाचल गवर्नमेंट ने टूरिज्म के लिए कुछ भी नहीं किया।
Satish completed his masters from Himachal University before pursuing a vocational training course as a guide. He talks about how offbeat locations are popular among tourists and he is open about his choices in the election.
His vote is for development, and he says the BJP has improved infrastructure in Himachal.
समवेयर मैं तो नहीं बोलूँगा शायद, क्योंकि देखिए मैम हमारे यहाँ पे जैसे कि मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर काफ़ी डेवलपमेंट हुआ है वैसे स्टेट में। चलो थोड़ा सा लॉकडाउन की वजह से सबको परेशानी आई, हमारे को भी परेशानी रही।
अनाउंसमेंट हो सरकार टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री के लिए, जो हॉस्पिटैलिटी इंडस्ट्री है उसके लिए कुछ स्पेशल अनाउंसमेंट हो?
देखिए ये टूरिज्म के पास बहुत कुछ है, करने के लिए बहुत कुछ कर सकते हैं, लेकिन विजन किसी के पास नहीं है ना।
When you go to cast your vote, 12 तारीख को जब आप वोट देने जाएंगे तो क्या सोचकर वोट देंगे?
मैम देखिए डायरेक्टली मैं बोल देता हूँ कि ऐसा नहीं है। आई एम गोइंग टू कास्ट माई वोट टू द बीजेपी, बिकॉज हमारे जितना भी इकोनॉमी आज की डेट में लोग घूमने आ रहे हैं, हमारे पास बिजनेस आ रहा है। जब देश की इकोनॉमी बढ़ी है ना, तभी लोग घूमने निकल पा रहे हैं घर से।
Politically, it's very active. Oh, yes.
On the Mall Road, we also meet Dr. Nitin Vyas, a professor of tourism at Himachal University. He says the tourism industry in the state is seeing a sharp change, with several startups now coming up across the state. Your family also?
Yes. सरकार ने जो नौजवान हैं उनको विलेजेस में अपना जो हमारा जिस तरह का कल्चर है, जिस तरह का हमारा फोक है, उस फोक को डेवलप करने के साथ साथ उन विलेजेस को डेवलप करने की बात कही है, ताकि जो टूरिस्ट है वो शिमला मनाली ना जाए, वो डायरेक्ट उन विलेजेस में जाए। जो यहाँ का हिमाचल प्रदेश का जो यूथ है, बहुत से ऐसे उदाहरण हैं जिन्होंने इन योजनाओं का फ़ायदा उठाया है और नाउ दे हैव स्टार्टेड, यस स्टार्टअप्स दे हैव स्टार्टेड नाउ। सो ऐसा नहीं है कि
टूरिज्म सेक्टर में काफ़ी स्टार्टअप शुरू हुई हैं।
यस, और उसमें मैं अब एक चीज़ और आपको बताता हूँ कि बिकॉज आई एम अ प्रोफेसर ऑफ टूरिज्म और मैंने पीएचडी भी टूरिज्म में की है। इसका एक कारण है कि बहुत बड़ा एक जो तबका है नौजवानों का, वो नाउ दे आर कमिंग टुवर्ड्स, दे वुड वांट टू स्टडी टूरिज्म। तो जो भी टूरिज्म की डिग्री लेके वापस जाता है और वो सारी इन चीज़ों को सीखता है और उसको एक्सपोजर मिलता है, तो उस एक्सपोजर के बाद जब वो अपने गाँव में जाकर अपना बिजनेस शुरू करता है, तो वो सिर्फ रोज़गार पाने वाला नहीं है, बल्कि साथ में 10 लोगों को उस गाँव में रोज़गार भी देता है।
Keeping pace with changing times are the veterans of Himachal's hotel industry. Mohinder Seth, the president of the Tourism Industry Association, and his friends Anil Bhardwaj and Pratap Chauhan have ventured into homestays. We meet them over a chai pe charcha. जब भी इलेक्शन होता है, होटल इंडस्ट्री, टूरिज्म इंडस्ट्री पे फोकस आता है. What is it that you expect from a government? और क्या किसी सरकार ने डिलीवर किया है? इतने सारे प्रोमिसेस होते हैं.
देखिए, जहाँ तक टूरिज्म का सवाल है, वो दिस इज लॉट ऑफ पोटेंशियल इन हिमाचल प्रदेश, और हमारा जो सोर्स फॉर एम्प्लॉयमेंट जो है, इसके ऊपर भी हम बहुत संभावनाएं हैं. डेफिनेटली सरकार, जो भी कोई सरकार आती है, वो उस पर फोकस तो करती है, मगर उस पर ज़्यादा तवज्जो देने की आवश्यकता इसलिए है क्योंकि दिस इज़ द बैकबोन ऑफ आवर स्टेट. तो मैं समझता हूँ कि जो भी कोई नई सरकार आए तो उसको इस पे ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा
किस तरह की तवज्जो आप बोल रहे हैं?
प्रॉपर पब्लिसिटी. जो ओल्ड आपके जो जितने भी आपके ओल्ड डेस्टिनेशंस हैं, लाइक शिमला, मनाली, डलहौजी, दे शुड नॉट बी इग्नोर्ड, क्योंकि नया डेस्टिनेशन आने के लिए कम से कम 20 से 25 साल लग जाते हैं.
And all of you are hoteliers running your own resorts and homestays. What has changed in these years? क्या बदलाव आपने देखा है?
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर काफ़ी इम्प्रूव हुआ है. हमारी विलेज टूरिज्म या रिमोट टूरिज्म जो है, जो पहले बिल्कुल नहीं लोग रहते थे, उसमें काफ़ी इजाफा हो गया. एंड होना भी चाहिए. लोकल एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी जनरेट होती है उससे. बट हमारे थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे प्रोफेशनलिज्म लैकिंग.
Himachal Pradesh's tourism sector is 7% of the state GDP, employing close to 3 lakh people in the 9.7 lakh private sector workforce. While the pandemic caused an 81% fall in tourist arrivals in 2020, this year the state broke all previous records, registering the highest footfall of 66 lakh tourists till May. That's close to 90% of the state's population. The mushrooming of Airbnbs in Himachal Pradesh has forced hoteliers to rethink their old style of functioning. Those like Pratap Chauhan think that there is a need for policy intervention to contain the alarming shift.
You know, there's a mushroom growth of these kind of, you know, like homestays हो गए, Airbnbs हो गए, क्योंकि आपने मतलब नीचे ढाबा कोई राशन की दुकान है ऊपर, ये मतलब ये सरकार को थोड़ा इस पे फोकस तो करना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि बहुत इससे एक तो टैक्स चोरी हो रहा है, इससे जो होटलियर्स हैं, हमने इतना इन्वेस्ट करके एक बड़े स्ट्रक्चर बनाया हुआ है, वी आर पेइंग द टैक्सेस, वी आर पेइंग द पे एंड दिस, और भी कई चीज़ें, वो हमारे कंपटीशन, हमारे लिए एक बड़ा अनसीन कंपटीशन भी है वो। आप बिल्कुल है ही है, क्योंकि आपने कुछ नहीं किया, आप नीचे आप करियाने की दुकान चला रहे हो, ऊपर आपने ब्रेड एंड ब्रेकफास्ट चला दिया, और होम स्टे है आपका, उसमें कोई नॉर्म्स नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है। अच्छा, आज की डेट में कुछ टूरिस्ट ऐसे भी आना चाहते हैं जिनको मतलब ये होता है, दे आर कमिंग द यू नो इन मर्सिडीज, बट दे वांट टू स्टे इन सच अकोमोडेशन विच आर वेरी लो पेड अकोमोडेशंस। अगर आपका प्रॉपर होम स्टे है या B&B है, वी अप्रिशिएट दैट।
उन लोग से टैक्स नहीं लिया जाता है?
बेसिकली यू नो जो होम स्टे स्कीम है उस पे एट वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम देयर वाज एग्जम्पशन ऑन लग्जरी टैक्स, but as far as the GST is concerned, there is no exemption. So they are avoiding tax. Basically, this is what is happening. Secondly, जो आप जैसे प्रताप जी ने बोला, हमारी कैरिंग कैपेसिटी नहीं है, जितने वो बनते चले जा रहे हैं, जो बन गए हैं उसको तो हम we have no this thing. But
who gives them licenses?
This is the problem that the B&B का जो है वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया देती है, ITDC देती है उसको। As far as our homestay is concerned, I am one of the member of the committee. तो जब से मुझे कमेटी में ले गया, हमने उसमें अंकुश लगाया। अब हम देखते हैं कि वो जैसे प्रताप जी ने बोला कि कहीं शॉप के ऊपर तो नहीं, कहीं भी होम स्टे बन रहा, क्योंकि उसका सारा पर्पज ही फॉरफिट हो गया ना जी। इफ यू आर गोइंग टू अ होम स्टे, व्हाट इट सेज दैट कि आप एक फैमिली के साथ रहेंगे, फिर वो आपको वहाँ का लोकल क्यूजीन कराएगा देगा, फिर वो आपको वहाँ का कल्चर के बारे में बताएगा, कुछ ऑर्चर्ड्स घुमाएगा, कुछ गार्डन्स घुमाएगा, मगर अनफॉर्चुनेटली वैसा हो नहीं रहा है। तो हम समझते हैं कि सरकार को इसको बड़ा ही सीरियसली लेने वाला मैटर है।
All of you are seeing that as the big competition right now. I mean, the big challenge to the hotel industry is coming because of this mushrooming of B&Bs.
It has already come.
No, we are not against. Actually, the homestays. Actually, this concept of homestay was launched because the government wanted to, you know, promote the rural tourism, and they wanted to they wanted to give the income to the rural people. But वो concept अब नहीं है.
30-year-old Aditya Pal is a third-generation restaurateur. His family has been running the famous Sher-e Punjab restaurant since 1954. Aditya had the option of continuing with the family business after he returned home to Shimla, completing his hotel management course from the Pusa Institute in Delhi. Instead, he chose to start his own restaurant in 2016.
So, Aditya, you know, hotel industry, as you heard from your uncles, I would say, all of them are of the opinion that this industry has collapsed.
Yes.
And you came to Shimla and started a restaurant of your own.
Right.
And not one, but two restaurants.
Definitely. With time, yeah.
Yes. Why did you expand and why did you come back?
See, come back was because basically I'm in love with Shimla. I went to Delhi, I worked there, but basically over there, what I found was that people are just running as a rat race over there. Over here, there's still peace and you have actually fun working over here. And then it's in my blood to actually operate a restaurant, so I just always wanted to do that. And being close to my family, that was my main priority, frankly speaking. So I had to come back.
How many people of your generation, a 30-year-old, would return to Shimla? I want to understand that.
See, that is up to my bringing up and basically my understanding of Shimla, that I thought that there is a big market gap over here. When I actually entered inside, I really saw there's a big market gap. Because over here, there was no new places to go to. Even me, being here, born and brought up here, I used to have very few places to go. So I thought, why not just create your own?
Aditya is bullish about the industry and says the government's 2025 plan gives him hope that his business will only grow.
As a young restaurateur, what will decide your vote on 12th?
See, vote is nothing like that. If you vote is something different. because I see the overall development as well. I see, like over here I'm seeing like there is a new Turner plan of 2025 there where the government is committing that they're going to give 24 hours water supply as well. Then basically we are getting a tram service which is connecting. So if there is growth, I see my business growing as well. If I see more connectivity to the whole like inner circle of the Shimla, then basically that's really good. Wherever there's development, I'll basically vote over there.
And I said, I wonder what Biden would do right now. But we gutted it out, and it was amazing. But Marco had a fantastic evening at 58-41. That's really tremendous. That's as of this moment. Katie Britt, I want to congratulate Katie Britt. We endorsed Katie, and she did fantastically. 68-30. That means she has a future, young, and just a fantastic woman with a husband who's great. He's maybe the largest human being I've ever seen. He was a offensive lineman in the NFL for a long time and a great football player, actually. Played for Alabama. But Katie, congratulations to you. And we have a lot of other good ones going out there. Herschel's leading right now. So we have a lot of big races going on right now. So enjoy that, enjoy the food, and enjoy everything. And really, in all fairness, it is a great honor to have the media with us, and we hope you enjoy yourself and this wonderful group of people. These are the people that you read about. They are not the nicest people in the world, but they are brilliant financially. We're not going to see any great football stars in here, but we do see brilliant people. But but they're great people and very, very successful people, and they want what's good for the country, and that's why they're here. And I want to thank you all for being here. And again, to the media, thank you very much. Have a good time. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, everybody. This has been a very exciting night. We have some races that are hot and heavy, and we're all watching them here. And some of you like the music so much that you'd rather hear the music, and I understand that very well. So we're doing combinations of both. I'd like to welcome the fake news media, which is back there. There's a lot of people back there. That's incredible. That's a big group. They must be expecting something big tonight. Actually, they were hoping for big losses, but that's not happening. So the numbers have been amazing so far. Now, this is just up until this point. But as of this moment on endorsements, with the nominations, we had a total of 330 endorsements on nominations. This is only on nominations. This isn't for tonight. And of the 330, we won 200. We won 324. So if you think 224, and some of those were long shots, in all fairness. They were down in 5th place. We had a lot of people in 5th place that went to first, but it was 224 out of 330, and that's a pretty good number. And then tonight, because they kept saying, well, he's good on nominations, but is he good on the general election? So as of this moment, and we have some out there, we are 80 wins and 3 losses. Is that good? Wouldn't that be funny if we were better on the general election than the nominations themselves? So that's great. Now in North Carolina, just out, Ted Budd is now leading.
Hello and welcome to the late night edition with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Breaking news coming in when it comes to the crackdown on Chinese loan apps. That's our top focus on the bulletin, where a Chinese woman and 1 Indian national have been arrested for running a syndicate and duping people of lakhs of rupees through the loan apps. Now, as per the police, this is the figure that we're getting from the police, these suspects conned people of 150 crore rupees and were working at the behest of kingpins in China. The arrest was made by the Delhi Police Special Cell. That's the piece of breaking news coming in. Let's listen in to the reaction coming in from the Delhi Police.
Delhi Police IFSO unit, which comes under Special Cell Delhi Police, have arrested 2 persons in instant Chinese app loan. One person is lady, she's Chinese national, she's a mastermind, her name is Yu Zhang. She has been arrested from India, and another Indian national, Vineet Jawar, has been arrested in this case. In the same case, we have already arrested 22 people earlier, and now our further investigation has revealed that this lady, Chinese lady Yu Zhang, she's a mastermind here in India in this particular case. And in this particular case, our investigations are showing that around 150 crore rupees have already been transferred to China from India in this case. This network is very wide, and this network is spread all across the country in all the major states. So we have arrested and we have worked out this case.
I'm joined by my colleague Anvit Srivastav on the phone line. Anvit, a massive bust by the Delhi police. Do they have more suspects on their radar?
Yes, certainly, Ayushman, big buzz by the special cell and the ISSC unit of Delhi Police's special cell. Now, the two arrested persons, Yu Zhang and Vineet Jawar, who are being interrogated by the Delhi police officials. We have information from the sources that their interrogation has revealed that they were working at the behest of some Chinese kingpins who could be either based in India or abroad. Now, the police are trying to, analyze the data that they have recovered from the devices that have been seized, and now they're trying to find out who are these persons from whom they were getting targets and who were, at whose behest were they operating in India. Also, police are saying that it's so far these two have together siphoned at least 150 crores, and several people have been duped by them. So police are certainly trying to know who all are the members of the syndicate and who is the Chinese kingpin who had been guiding them from abroad and at whose behest they had been operating in India.
And Anwar, please stay with us. We're getting some more breaking news. Now, this comes to the internal security review that was chaired by Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Now, what we are learning is that Amit Shah chaired a meeting of top officials of the Intelligence Bureau, and these bureaus hail from across the country. And this meeting was held in the national capital with a focus on internal security. The Home Minister highlighted that the fight against terror and its infrastructure should continue, adding that there is a need to further strengthen communication between states and tackle both terror and the narcotics trade. He also said that the country's coastal security must be made impenetrable. So that pitch coming in from Home Minister Amit Shah. I'm joined by Arunima on the phone line, who tracks the MHA. Arunima, so a special pitch coming in from Home Minister Amit Shah, a very focused pitch coming in when it comes to the narcotic trade as well and its links to terror, given the recent mega hauls that have been made by the agency when it comes to the crackdown on the narco trade across the country.
Yes, and this is the second time that he's coming out openly, even in the Chintan Shivir, which we held just 2 weeks ago, where all the home ministers or ministers handling the home portfolio across the country, they all came together, and there also the home minister specifically mentioned that narco is an area which must be focused on. And today in his meeting with Intelligence Bureau officials from across the country, he reiterated that point. He also said that, since drones are being used to drop drugs from across the border, specifically, I think the example of Pakistan and Punjab border, the international border there comes to mind. So he said that the anti-drone technology must be used. So this is a new focus area that you're seeing. Earlier, every time you spoke about internal terrorism, internal security, you spoke about terrorism, you spoke about infiltration, you spoke about radicalization. But now the Home Minister wants the internal security apparatus to focus on the narco trade that is happening, on coastal security, because that is also a route that is being used to ensure that drugs are brought in that could really damage the youth and the future of the country.
Right. Thank you, Arunima, for getting us that piece of breaking news. So, Home Minister Amit Shah re-energizing the pitch to tackle narco trade across the country. Getting some more breaking news right ahead of the Gujarat elections. Now, there is a shake-up in the BJP camp, ladies and gentlemen, ahead of the Gujarat elections. The meeting of the BJP Central Election Committee is currently underway for the Gujarat fight. We are also learning that former Chief Minister Vijay Rupani and former Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel have expressed a desire not to contest the elections along with other senior leaders from the BJP camp. So that's the pitch coming in from the senior leaders of the BJP camp. I'm joined by Maria Shakil on the phone line to get the latest from the BJP. Maria, over to you.
Yes, so Ayushman, the Central Election Committee is meeting at the BJP headquarters even as we speak. The first list for Gujarat elections is likely to come out later tonight. And what we are being told by sources is that Vijay Rupani, the former Chief Minister, and Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel and several other senior leaders of the party of the state of Gujarat have communicated to the central leadership that they would not be interested in contesting anymore. I think what has happened here is also just 18 months ago, if you remember, Ayushman, the BJP had gone for a massive shake-up in the state of Gujarat. The party certainly feels that when it comes to anti-incumbency or any kind of fatigue factor, it can be only against the local leadership. As far as the brand narrative,
Right. I think we've lost Mara. We'll try to reconnect with her to get the latest from the BJP camp. But let's shift focus to the political war that has erupted over the G20 logo that was unveiled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday as India takes over the presidency of the multilateral forum. Now, the point of contention is that this logo boasts the lotus symbol, ladies and gentlemen. Now, beyond being the emblem of the BJP, the lotus is central to multiple South Asian cultures and a significant part of India's ancient heritage. But the Congress has called it a brazen attempt to glorify the BJP. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh led the charge against the Saffron Party, accusing it of shamelessly promoting itself on the global stage. Jairam Ramesh further said that 70 years ago, Nehru rejected the proposal to make the Congress flag the symbol of independent India. But now, the BJP symbol has become the official G20 logo. The BJP hit back at the Congress, accusing it of insulting the national flower, adding that it was Nehru who gave it that stature.
मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से विनती करूंगा कि वो बटन दबाकर भारत के G20 logo.
Prime Minister Modi unveiling the logo of India's G20 presidency.
India, home to 1.3 billion people, is a confluence of religions, traditions and customs.
The logo includes a lotus, which Prime Minister Modi says is a symbol of hope in trying times.
And seeing the world as one family.
The world is going through the after effects of disruptive, once-in-a-century pandemic, conflicts, and lot of economic uncertainty. The symbol of the lotus in the G20 logo is a representation of hope in these times. No matter how adverse the circumstances, the lotus still blooms.
But for the opposition, the lotus symbol has a political link.
एक्चुअली भाजपा वाले हमेशा इलेक्शन मोड पे रहते हैं और हमेशा उनको लगता है कि हमें वोट का लाभ मिल जाए.
G20 symbol contains lotus, which is sought to be capitalized by BJP. Well, I think this is certainly objectionable.
Why the lotus was not used earlier by BJP, the ruling party, as a national flower? But no, for G20 they are going to use it now. That shows every issue they politicize.
BJP countered these allegations and said the lotus symbolizes India's ancient heritage.
कमल आज से हजारों वर्षों से भारत और भारतीय संस्कृति में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है. राष्ट्र और राष्ट्रवाद के किसी भी तत्व के प्रति आपके मन में कितनी अवमानना है और उसको लेट डाउन करने के लिए आप किसी भी सीमा तक जाने को तैयार हैं.
India takes over the presidency of the G20 from the 1st of December and will have an opportunity to consolidate its growing foreign policy footprint. So at such a crucial moment, why politicize India's global show of strength?
One Earth, one family, one future.
And more breaking news coming in, this one from Jammu and Kashmir. One terror module linked to the Jaish-e-Mohammed has been busted in Narwal in the Jammu region. Now, 3 suspects have been arrested and a massive amount of arms and ammunition have been recovered. The suspects claim they came to Jammu to pick up weapons at the behest of a Jaish handler in Pakistan. They were tasked to hand over the arms to a top terrorist in the Kashmir Valley. My colleague Tejendra Singh Sodhi gets us the latest from Ground Zero.
In a major success, the Jammu and Kashmir police has busted a Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit racket which was trying to smuggle these arms and ammunition into Kashmir Valley from Jammu. The Jammu police got the inputs, and after that a NACA was laid. They were conducting a routine search when they noticed an oil tanker moving on the national highway. They stopped the oil tanker, and there was an altercation between the driver and the police personnel. The driver was called to the police station, and after his antecedents were checked, it was found that a case had already been registered against the terrorist against him in Kashmir Valley. After that, police became suspicious, and they started interrogation all the three people who were in that tanker. And during their interrogation, they revealed that they had come to Jammu to get this consignment of arms and ammunition. So on when the police checked the vehicle, the oil tanker, these 3 AK-56 rifles were recovered, and large quantity of other arms and ammunition, including a revolver. There are 7 magazines, and these more than 100 rounds, more than 150 rounds. These 6 hand grenades were also recovered. So major module, this entire module was being operated from Pakistan. There is a terrorist of Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit, a handler identified as Shahbaz, who has been operating from Pakistan, and he was passing the instructions to the Kashmir-based terrorists to carry this consignment from Jammu. Now it is a matter of investigation how this consignment landed in Jammu, whether it was sent through drones or it came via land route from some other place. This all is matter of investigation. 3 terrorists of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit have been arrested by the police. You can see that these are the 6 hand grenades, these are 3 AK-56 rifles, and all these arms and ammunition. You can well imagine the mayhem that these type of arms and ammunition could have caused in Kashmir Valley. But thanks to the Jammu police, that a major carnage, these revolvers, I'll ask my video journalist to show this revolver. These type of revolvers are used to carry out selective assassination, to carry out target killing in the Kashmir Valley. These grenades, they are used to throw on the crowded places by the terrorists, and these AK-56 rifles clearly expose the nefarious design of Pakistan, wherein Pakistan has been pushing these kind of arms and ammunition into the Indian side. But because of the alertness of the Jammu and Kashmir police, especially the Jammu police, a major terror tragedy, a terror attack has been averted.
So a major victory for the security forces. By shifting focus, there are conflicts raging between the governors and governments in 3 opposition-ruled states. Sparks are flying in the states of Kerala, Telangana and Tamil Nadu. The DMK has submitted a memorandum to the President of India seeking the removal of Governor R.N. Ravi, accusing him of obstructing the government. Things are not great in Kerala as well, where the cabinet has decided to bring in an ordinance to take away the post of Chancellor from the governor's office. This comes amid the ongoing legal battle between the state vice chancellors and Arif Mohammed Khan. The LDF government has accused him of working as an agent of the Sangh Parivar. Meanwhile, in poll-bound Telangana, the governor Tamilisai Soundarajan has been accused by the TRS government of delaying legislative work. The charge comes days after she raised questions on the selection process when it comes to the Common Recruitment Board for state universities.
Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana. 3 states, 1 big fight. It's governors versus state governments. After repeated spats between the Kerala government and governor, the Pinarayi Vijayan cabinet decided to bring in an ordinance to take away the role of the Chancellor of Universities from the governor. But Arif Mohammed Khan remained defiant.
Let that stage come, and I had said whatever crisis comes, I will not sign on the address if you will try to control Raj Bhavan.
It's a similar story in Tamil Nadu. Calling Governor R.N. Ravi a threat to peace, the DMK has submitted a memorandum to the President seeking his removal from office. The memorandum listed 20 bills passed by the Assembly that are awaiting the Governor's assent. These include one to take away the Governor's powers to appoint Vice-Chancellors and give them to the state government instead. In Telangana too, the ruling TRS has accused Governor Tamilisai Soundarajan of sitting on some bills forwarded by the government for her assent. Refuting the allegation, the governor claimed that her phones might be tapped.
I can take my own time to assess the bills. It was wrongly projected that I am sitting on the bills. I doubt my phone is taped. My privacy is interfered.
While the governor is an apolitical head who acts on the advice of the Council of Ministers, there are no guidelines in the Constitution for the exercise of the governor's powers. So who exactly is crossing the line here?
And breaking news coming in from Assam. All private madrasa boards will need to give full details about their institutions. That's the big piece of breaking news coming in from the state of Assam amid the anti-terror drive that is taking place in the state. Now, as per the government order, prior to December 1st, all private madrasa boards will have to give the full details of all the madrasas under them. Every single teacher will go through police verification as well. This comes, as I was saying, amid the crackdown on terror cells in the state, which have been linked to multiple madrasas, as well as multiple terror groups emerging not only from Pakistan but also from Bangladesh. I'm joined by my colleague Preeti, who's getting us this big piece of breaking news. Preeti, decode the entire government plan for us.
Yes, recently as a lot of madrasas were demolished by the government as some jihadi or we can say terrorist links were found with them, and there was this committee formed where they were asked to decide some kind of rules and regulations for the private madrasas, as a lot of jihadi links were found in the recent times. So today we could see that this notification has come where the DGP has put out this kind of rules for the private madrasas, where before December 1st, all the private madrasas will have to give complete of their addresses and all their details to the Assam Board of Secondary Education. And I have to tell you that earlier what we could see was that in very small proximity, there were a lot of private madrasas without any kind of affiliations or recognitions. But from now on, within 3 kilometers, there cannot be two madrasas together. There has to be the compulsory distance of 3 kilometers between two madrasas. And not just that, there should be at least 100 students in the madrasa. Because earlier what we saw while we were on the ground report for the earlier madrasas having traces of anti-national or we can say terrorist activities, where some imams who were not from the locality were coming from somewhere outside, and they were teaching literature related to jihad, literature related to Al-Qaeda. So from now on, there should be at least 100 students in those madrasas, and they have made it clear that those imams in the masjids and also in the teachers in the madrasas, they have to necessarily go through a police verification. This is being done just to keep the track who is actually teaching the students studying in the madrasas, because we have seen that most of them in all the madrasas that were demolished in the recent past, the teachers there were actually working as the people teaching about jihad and teaching about terrorist activities in the madrasas.
Absolutely. This is set to become another political flashpoint in the state of Assam. Thank you, Preeti, for getting us those details. We're going to take a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
And I said, I wonder what Biden would do right now. But we gutted it out, and it was amazing. But Marco had a fantastic evening at 58-41. That's really tremendous. That's as of this moment. Katie Britt, I want to congratulate Katie Britt. We endorsed Katie, and she did fantastically. 68-30. That means she has a future. Young and just a fantastic woman with a husband who's great. He's maybe the largest human being I've ever seen. He was a offensive lineman in the NFL for a long time and a great football player, actually. Played for Alabama. But Katie, congratulations to you. And we have a lot of other good ones going out there. Herschel's leading right now. So we have a lot of big races going on right now. So enjoy that, enjoy the food, and enjoy everything. And really, in all fairness, it is a great honor to have the media with us. And we hope you enjoy yourself and this wonderful group of people. These are the people that you read about. They are not the nicest people in the world, but they are brilliant financially. We're not going to see any great football stars in here, but we do see brilliant people. But but they're great people and very, very successful people, and they want what's good for the country, and that's why they're here. And I want to thank you all for being here. And again, to the media, thank you very much. Have a good time. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, everybody. This has been a very exciting night. We have some races that are hot and heavy, and we're all watching them here. And some of you like the music so much that you'd rather hear the music, and I understand that very well. So we're doing combinations of both. I'd like to welcome the fake news media, which is back there. There's a lot of people back there. That's incredible. That's a big group. They must be expecting something big tonight. Actually, they were hoping for big losses, but that's not happening. So the numbers have been amazing so far. Now, this is just up until this point. But as of this moment on endorsements, with the nominations, we had a total of 330 endorsements on nominations. This is only on nominations. This isn't for tonight. And of the 330, we won 200. We won 324. So if you think 224, and some of those were long shots, in all fairness. They were down in 5th place. We had a lot of people in 5th place that went to first, but it was 224 out of 330, and that's a pretty good number. And then tonight, because they kept saying, well, he's good on nominations, but is he good on the general election? So as of this moment, and we have some out there, we are 80 wins and 3 losses. Is that good? Wouldn't that be funny if we were better on the general election than the nominations themselves? So that's great. Now in North Carolina, just out, Ted Budd is now leading, doing great. He's leading 51-47. In Missouri, very good guy, Eric Schmidt is now up 55-43, and he's against a Bush, but a different Bush. It's called an Anheuser-Busch. That's a different Bush. You tell me which is the real Bush. In Ohio, J.D. Vance is now.
Welcome back. And the other big story which is still unfolding is the results of the midterm elections in the US. It's been a good result so far for the Republicans, but far from a great one. They have already lost 1 Senate seat in Pennsylvania and will need to flip 2 among the 3 states of Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia. What's clear is that control of the Senate and the House still hangs in the balance, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be a long night. I leave you with this report. Good night and take care.
The battle for control of Congress is coming down to just a handful of critical races. Democrats garnering enough victories across the country to stave off Republicans' pursuit of a red wave, but with several races still too close to call, both parties now clinging to hopes of winning narrow majorities in both chambers. A key win for Democrats.
I'll be the next U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania.
As Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman defeated Trump-endorsed Dr. Mehmet Oz to flip the formerly Republican-held Senate seat, giving Democrats a much-needed opportunity to maintain control of the upper chamber. The GOP also falling short on Senate races in New Hampshire and Colorado, but taking key victories in Florida, North Carolina, and Ohio, where Republican J.D. Vance defeated Democratic Senate candidate Tim Ryan.
I will never forget where I came from, and I will never forget the great people of Ohio. Thank you for this honor to serve you. I'll fight for you every day.
Control of the House, too, remains uncertain. Republicans, who expected to benefit from high inflation and historical trends, have not seen all of their anticipated victories materialize. However, GOP momentum in the closing stretch has prepared the White House for potentially governing in a divided Washington.
It is clear that we are going to take the House back.
But tight races in Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, and Georgia could take days, if not weeks, to be decided, leaving the balance of power in Washington up in the air.
Very successful people, and they want what's good for the country, and that's why they're here. And I want to thank you all for being here. And again, to the media, thank you very much. Have a good time. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, everybody. This has been a very exciting night. We have some races that are hot and heavy, and we're all watching them here. And some of you like the music so much that you'd rather hear the music, and I understand that very well. So we're doing combinations of both. I'd like to welcome the fake news media, which is back there. There's a lot of people back there. That's incredible. That's a big group. They must be expecting something big tonight. Actually, they were hoping for big losses, but that's not happening. So the numbers have been amazing so far. Now, this is just up until this point. But as of this moment on endorsements, with the nominations, we had a total of 330 endorsements on nominations. This is only on nominations. This isn't for tonight. And of the 330, we won 200. We won 324. So if you think 224, and some of those were long shots, in all fairness. They were down in 5th place. We had a lot of people in 5th place that went to first, but it was 224 out of 330, and that's a pretty good number. And then tonight, because they kept saying, well, he's good on nominations, but is he good on the general election? So as of this moment, and we have some out there, we are 80 wins and 3 losses. Is that good? Wouldn't that be funny if we were better on the general election than the nominations themselves? So that's great. Now, in North Carolina, just out, Ted Budd is now leading, doing great. He's leading 51-47. In Missouri, very good guy, Eric Schmidt is now up 55-43, and he's against a Bush, but a different Bush. It's called an Anheuser-Busch. That's a different Bush. You tell me which is the real Bush. In Ohio, J.D. Vance is now leading 52-47. And we had an incredible rally last night in Ohio. And you saw that in Florida, Marco Rubio, we had an unbelievable rally for Marco the night before with the heaviest rain I've ever been involved with. I was up there. It was beautiful, everything. This is the tropics, right, Florida? It was so beautiful. It was the most beautiful night. And all of a sudden,
This is Viewpoint. I'm Zaka Jacob. The latest political controversy between the Congress and the BJP happens to be around the logo for the G20 summit. Remember, India will be hosting the G20 summit in 2023. In fact, India will be holding the rotating presidency starting next month. Next week, the Prime Minister is going to be Bali, where ceremonially the handover function will happen from the current host country, Indonesia, to the next host country, which happens to be India. Now, the Congress party, the principal opposition party, has raised a huge hue and cry around the fact that the G20 logo has a lotus in it. Now, the lotus, of course, being the BJP's election symbol. But the BJP has fact-checked the Congress by saying that the lotus was declared as the national flower of India way back in the 1950s when Jawaharlal Nehru was Prime Minister of this country. Is this silly season electoral politics that's going on, or is there merit in the Congress's argument that a overt political symbol should not be the logo of an event, a summit, which India is hosting?
मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से विनती करूंगा कि वो बटन दबाकर भारत के G20 logo.
Prime Minister Modi unveiling the logo of India's G20 presidency.
India, home to 1.3 billion people, is a confluence of religions, traditions, and customs.
The logo includes a lotus, which Prime Minister Modi says is a symbol of hope in trying times.
And seeing the world as one family.
The world is going through the after effects of disruptive, once-in-a-century pandemic, conflicts, and lot of economic uncertainty. The symbol of the lotus in the G20 logo is a representation of hope in these times. No matter how adverse the circumstances, the lotus still blooms.
But for the opposition, the lotus symbol has a political link.
एक्चुअली भाजपा वाले हमेशा इलेक्शन मोड पे रहते हैं और हमेशा उनको लगता है कि हमें वोट का लाभ मिल जाए.
G20 symbol contains lotus, which is sought to be capitalized by BJP. Well, I think this is certainly objectionable.
Why the lotus was not used earlier by BJP, the ruling party as a national flower. But no, for G20 they are going to use it now. That shows every issue they politicize.
BJP countered these allegations and said the lotus symbolizes India's ancient heritage.
कमल आज से हजारों वर्षों से भारत और भारतीय संस्कृति में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है। राष्ट्र और राष्ट्रवाद के किसी भी तत्व के प्रति आपके मन में कितनी अवमानना है और उसको लेट डाउन करने के लिए आप किसी भी सीमा तक जाने को तैयार हैं।
India takes over the presidency of the G20 from the 1st of December and will have an opportunity to consolidate its growing foreign policy footprint. So at such a crucial moment, why politicize India's global show of strength?
One Earth, one family, one future.
All right, is the opposition and the Congress in particular making an unnecessary sort of mountain out of a molehill, if you will? The lotus happens to be the national flower of the country. It's not just the BJP's election symbol. And after all, the G20 is something that India as a country will be hosting. So why bring in petty politics? Let me bring across our guests who are joining us on Viewpoint. Guru Prakash Paswan is spokesperson of the BJP, Kailash Adhikari, Director of Governance Now. Meeta Chakrabarti will be joining us. She's a spokesperson of the Congress Party. And Sanjeev Srivastav, senior journalist. Guru Prakash Paswan, the Congress is saying that the lotus is avowedly the election symbol of the BJP. Why have an electoral symbol in the logo of an event that the country is going to be hosting?
No, Zaka, I think this is just a preposterous proposition. This shows the poverty of imagination and lack of ideas of the opposition party. This is nothing but opposition for the sake of opposition. You yourself mentioned in your initial set of observation that lotus is the national flower of our country. Who decided it to be a national flower of our country? Did BJP decide it to be the national flower of the country? And the Prime Minister himself, while unfurling the logo, explained the significance of lotus. Lotus is a flower, is a national flower that represents hope, that represents the idea of Vasudev Kutumbakam, one world, one family. Prime Minister was very categorical about it, that the Western notion of the world, that there is a third world, there is a second world, there is a first world. Prime Minister Modi and India today is having a say, is setting the global world order, is setting the global standards for conversation. So this is clearly beyond my comprehension. This is opposition for the sake of opposition. We have seen the last couple of years during COVID, Zaka, how India took a leadership position when it came for vaccination, when it came to masks, when it came for any other thing. India helped not only Brazil, America, but so many countries. So what is the problem with it? G20
okay, Sanjeev Srivastav, the BJP spokesperson there, saying this
its leadership is
a poverty of ideas. The opposition is simply creating this issue, which is a non-issue according to them. And after all, the lotus is the national flower, and it was declared so in the 1950s when Pandit Nehru was Prime Minister. It's not like the BJP even existed back then. So why are you making an issue of the lotus being part of the G20 logo?
Well, Zaka, good evening. And there are two aspects to this entire controversy. One, of course, and I won't give BJP the benefit of doubt, that they are past masters at capitalizing or exploiting any situation to their party's benefit also. So I won't say that it is just an act of innocence or a national flower being used as the symbol. Somebody may have thought about it. Now, I don't know for fact, but somebody may have thought about it. But what I found absolutely astounding is that, you know, I wouldn't have looked twice at this symbol and thought, oh, lotus is there and it's a BJP symbol and ye kamal ka phool khila diya inhone yahan bhi, and they are trying to exploit it politically. The Congress is being so churlish in its approach because people who might not even think that it's lotus and the BJP's election symbol, now they are giving BJP that much extra mileage by saying that why are you using your election, why are you using your party symbol as a component of the G20 symbol. It would have been just passed through, or it would have been, people wouldn't have noticed it or given so much thought to this whole thing.
Correct.
But now with Jairam Ramesh tweeting about it and talking about it, they are again playing into the hands of BJP, number one, by saying that, reminding everybody that it's BJP's symbol. And number two, how does it really help the Congress party? Who does it aim to convince? What extra mileage does it get by putting BJP in such a box? you don't create a good international vibe or image through this